turn. Who will get the stripe first? It is going to be sideways Bob Senneker over the pit wall.
Racing was my grandfather's passion. Alan Nott was my grandfather. Racing was an absolute passion of his, but he had to find a way to fund that passion. And it actually did not start as a car dealership. He owned a towing company, of all things, in Mount Healthy, Ohio, northwest side of Cincinnati. That's where his race shop was, and he started a towing company. My grandfather owned his first race cars in 1947, which was the year that my dad was 4 years old and my dad's brother Tom was 8 years old. So simple math, he just put those two numbers together, stuck it on the car, and now we're number 48.
We're just 20 minutes east of the Thunder of Niagara Falls at the Pontiac Excitement 300, where today the Thunder will come from V6 A.S.A. Motors. The weather here today, boy, it is hot out on the racetrack. 90 degrees, some 57% humidity, not nearly enough wind to cool the drivers down inside the cockpit.
There were a lot of things going on that weekend. It was very hot, and that was the first thing. Everybody was just scorched. I mean, it was mid-90s, a little bit of humidity. The track was, it was a different style track. It was a track that was a combination track. So the front stretch was actually a drag strip that they incorporated an oval into that drag strip. So we actually were going down the drag strip backwards, which was our front stretch. And so it was a very flat track. And the interesting thing about that track was during that race, it was so hot outside, the asphalt literally just started coming apart. It was turning into pebbles underneath the race car. So I think one of the fortunate things that somehow I figured out early on in the race was I had to slow down. I had to literally lift out of the throttle at the flag stand just to get the car to maneuver around the corner. And also there were a lot of talented drivers that hadn't figured that out and unfortunately crashed. We recognized it was not a high horsepower track. So right before the race started, we changed engines. We put our low horsepower engine in there, which means since we did that, I could only start as good as 11th because we changed the heart of the car. But the previous year, I was looking at winning my very first race, and the guy who ended up winning that race was Bob Senneker, who finished second at Lancaster. And that was a somewhat famous crash where Bob and I raced many laps towards the end of that race, and we crashed across the finish line and just pretty much watched my first win vanish right in front of me. And so when we came back the following year and I look in my rearview mirror, there's Bob Senneker. Told myself I'm going to flip the mirror up, I'm not going to pay attention, and I'm just going to not let that happen again and do what I need to do to win the race.
The white flag is out. The handling really coming in perfectly on this Chris Bradley tune, number 48 Raby Valvoline, 4 to Joe Nott. Joe Nott, half a lap away from his first ever A.S.A. win. Baird dives to the bottom to try to get second. Off of 4, here comes Joe Nott to his first ever AC-Delco Challenge Series victory.
I held my composure all the way up until I mentioned my family and my grandfather and Alan Nott. And that's when I started to tear up, and you could hear that on TV. But you know, I think it's just the amount of years and work and the blood, sweat, and tears that go into just showing up every weekend that I knew we had a talented crew and we had the opportunity to win, and sometimes you just have to be in position to take advantage of that opportunity. So many people keep trophies from all different sports, and this is the one trophy that I've kept over time because it's significant to me, and I just keep it in the house in the basement, not really on display or anything, but just be able to have it and bring it out. And a couple weeks ago is when it dawned on me that, oh my gosh, it's about to be a 30th anniversary of my one and only win in the A.S.A. series. So I just wanted to share it with people and the excitement, and this is the car that I actually won the race with that a few years ago I had restored, and just for that reason, because it's a piece of history and a piece of our family history that I wanted to kind of bring back to life.